You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters two-time award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Today we are in White River Junction for a Division I gridiron clash between the Tigers of Middlebury and the Hurricanes of Hartford. YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, where Bubba wants you to know we're having a lot of fun. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. And Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, providing independence for patients and peace of mind for families. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. La Valley Building Supply, 10 retail lumber yards serving New England for over 55 years. Ramontos in Claremont, always fresh, always delicious. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in our community. Good evening and welcome to White River Junction, Vermont for tonight's high school football game between the Middlebury Tigers and the Hartford Hurricanes. Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Stout, joined by Scott Quimby, and tonight a big Division I matchup between Middlebury and Hartford. And Scott, as we take a look at these teams, two powerhouses in Division I off to good starts this season.
Yeah, Hartford's the only one of these teams with any losses so far, and it was to Burton, who's ranked number 1 right now in the state. Hartford's ranked number 5, Middlebury 3. It's going to be a tough game. Their past 4 matchups with each other, they've gone 2-2, split it, so I expect a close game tonight.
All right, it should be a fun one. And first, for the Tigers of Middlebury, as you mentioned, undefeated 3-0. Who should we look for from the Tigers tonight?
Well, we got word that they might have some issues with their starting quarterbacks, health-wise. They have 2 good ones, Gottleman and Zach Bean. We're not sure which one's going to see the starting action tonight, but I'll be interested to see how that plays out in the game. They also have Tyler Buxton, of course. Especially with dealing with injuries with your quarterback position, we'll probably see a lot of him tonight on the ground. And he's been successful on this team for a few years now.
And that's Middlebury Tigers. For the Hartford Hurricanes, who should we watch for on their home turf tonight under the lights?
Well, again, they're probably going to do a lot of running too. Zach Burek, senior. And then they also have a great offensive line. Dakota Chapman is the leader of that line. He's a senior as well. They're pretty strong up front. Quarterback Cole Jasmine, big quarterback. Looks like he can make some throws. I'm curious to see how he can do against one of the top teams in the division.
All right, it should be a good one. Friday night football from White River Junction. It's the Middlebury Tigers and the Hartford Hurricanes YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back to White River Junction, Vermont. We are set to play some football here on Friday night. Middlebury Tigers, the visitors in the black pants and the white tops. They will be kicking off, and back deep to receive for the Hurricanes. Hits the ground and lets it go out of bounds. Wisely on that play is the returner number 2, Cole Shambo, the sophomore, making the play there. He wanted to get to it, but he let it go. It went out of bounds, so Hartford will take over. 1st and 10. Good start here for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, fortunately got out of the way of that one. That's probably a good 30-yard distance. If that made contact with him and it went out of bounds, they would have had it down there back at the 10-yard line. So,
but it looks like they might be setting up to re-kick this. So a possible penalty flag. We'll see where they're going to spot this one and see.
The penalty would be on the kick going out of bounds. That is a flag. It's an illegal kick. So I'm assuming perhaps Hartford declined?
No, I think there's going to be, I don't know why you would decline it, but maybe you would.
Because you kick off from the 40 typically, right? In high school?
So they're going to kick it off from the 35. I'm not really sure on that one, because most of the times your special teams team isn't that great that you would decline it hoping for a larger return.
Not when you're going to get it all the way up to the 40-yard
line.
Right,
I'm not that type of player. I don't think I've ever seen that on any level. So we'll go again. Here's the kickoff, and we'll do it all over again. This time it's taken at the 15-yard line and handed off to Shambo as he goes on the right side, and he's tripped up and tackled at the 25-yard line. And there could have also been some sort of illegal procedure, and so the kick didn't count, and they had to kick it off 5 yards back. But either way, Hurricanes take over. This time it's for real at the 25-yard line, just over the 25, not quite to the 26. 1st and 10 Hurricanes, and we'll see what they can do on offense here. As you mentioned, 2-1 to start the season. A couple of good games, only one loss, as you mentioned, to one of the best teams in the state.
You know, they're clearly showing already they have to be aggressive. They're trying to reverse on the opening kickoff. It didn't turn out exactly how they hoped. It was well covered, but...
And the first play, handoff up the middle, and maybe a small gain, maybe a couple of yards to the 27-yard line. So we'll see where they officially spot that. Looks like it'll be 2nd down and about 9. Refs putting the ball now at the 27. So 2nd down here, and Hartford and Middlebury. We've seen both of these teams in the past few years. You've been to Hartford, always great hosts having us here in White River Junction. And last couple of years, we've actually been over to Middlebury. They have a great stadium and great field. So we're here in a big rivalry game, and a handoff up the middle again. This time gaining some nice yardage, but it's not going to be enough as a short gain. Bring up 3rd and 5.
Middlebury's defensive line's holding up tough here in the first 2 plays, getting a decent push. We mentioned Hartford's offensive line in the opening. We'll see if they can continue to get some movement.
Yeah, Dakota Chapman, like you mentioned, the senior offensive lineman, and we saw him obviously in the warm-ups playing defensive line. Most of these guys are playing on both sides of the football, and he lines up as looks like the right tackle right now with the quarterback under center. He has one man in the backfield, and the man in motion gets the pitch, and that looks like it's Shambo scampering, trying to get to the 1st down marker, but he is tied up at the 35-yard line, maybe the 34, not going to get the 1st down.
More good pursuit by Middlebury's defense. They kind of swarmed the play there. It looked for a minute he had the blocking to maybe get to the sticks, but good team tackling right there by Middlebury.
And a penalty on the play. It's going to be a legal block at the back, but that'll be declined. No surprise there. The ball spotted at the 33-yard line and a 4th down. So, yeah, it looked like at one point he got to the 35-yard line and then kind of moved away from the tackler, and he ended up losing a couple yards. He's back to the 33, so 4th down, and they will be punting away. Middlebury return man sitting at the 35-yard line. Nice kick, driving him backwards. He'll let it go, but then he picks it up at the 25. Dangerous pickup. Gabe Dunn, and now a penalty flag flies. Ball carrier is tackled, so we'll sort this one out here.
Where the flag was thrown, it looked like maybe they're thinking face mask. The returner was fooled there. He took a couple steps in, and the ball ended up sailing over his head.
And then plays it off of one bounce, so kind of a risky play there by the junior Gabe Dunn. But he was able to corral it and maybe get some extra yardage here.
Yeah, he probably got 5 yards back on the return after picking it up off that big hop.
And the penalty will go against Middlebury, so they will march this one off 10 yards. And that ball is going to be spotted, I believe, about the 13, maybe the 13-yard line. Inside 10 minutes to play, 1st and 10, and we'll get our first look at the Middlebury Tigers offense when under center. And a little bit of motion early. It looked like the maybe right tackle.
Yeah, some movement up front, I think.
Number 74 maybe, not quite sure. So that was a false start. Moving back 5 more yards. So 1st and 15. Now starting inside their own 10-yard line at the 8.
Not how you would like to start off your first drive here, deep in a hole. In a game like this, it could be a field possession type game too. 2 very physical teams.
Quarterback under center, and he will hand it off, and going for a nice gain on the left side. He has got nobody between him and the end zone, and he is going to just waltz right in for a 92-yard touchdown run. Number 14, Tyler Buxton.
And that was some impressive speed. He got to the outside, and he was gone. Nobody was catching him.
As we talked about in the opening, Tyler Buxton, he is the man with the ball. They'll hand it to him, and they do on the first play from scrimmage. 92 yards, and he is gone. 6-0 Hartford, Middlebury, excuse me.
Yeah, you saw Hartford there. Really didn't have any safeties back. They kind of crammed the line of scrimmage, predicting a run. But when you do that and you don't have any safeties back, if that running back gets to the outside, gets the corner, it's a foot race. And clearly Buxton has the speed to probably run most of the kids on this field today.
Yeah, he does, and he did it right there with the first play from scrimmage for the Tigers. 92 yards, and we got a penalty flag on the field. See what that's all about. That one took all of 15 seconds. He ran 92 yards.
Is this Thursday night or Friday night with all these penalties here?
Right. Yeah, they've got some work to do in the NFL. There's some flags flying last week. And the extra point is up, and that is good. So Middlebury leads it 7-0 after each team has a possession. We'll take a break and come back. Middlebury Tigers lead the Hartford Hurricanes 7-0 on the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, 9:44 to play in the first quarter. Tigers lead the Hurricanes 7-0 on the 92-yard score on the ground from Tyler Buxton, and the Hurricanes take the kickoff, and they get immediately tackled. Looks like we'll be at the 25-yard line. Scott, we talked about it in the opening. This Tigers team, Buxton, they're going to keep the ball on the ground. 92 yards per carry. That's a good start.
Yeah, you can't really complain about 92 yards on your first play from scrimmage. Buxton's probably going to be a tough kid for Hartford to stop today. It's going to be a bit of a challenge here, starting this drive from the 25 again for the second time. Let's see if they can get something moving here.
So the Hurricanes will set up shop under center again. And man goes in motion. Again, the handoff to Shambo. He's off the right side around the corner, but he meets a trio of defenders, and he is brought down maybe a yard gain or so, and they've really kept the ball on the ground, and got to start getting a little bit more creative on their play calling if they want to get a first down. Now 4 plays, and really I don't even know if they gained a total of 10 yards.
Probably about 10 yards, but to your point about the play calling, yeah, I think you're right. They've obviously played well in the first few games of the season, moved the ball, scored some points, even against Burton, they scored 29, I think it was. So, this could just be a learning process here, and they might need to just ease in and find their footing here against a great Tigers team.
So Zachary Burek gets the carry on that one. He gains a few yards. That'll bring up third down and about 6 as we approach 8:30 to play here in the first quarter. Today's game is being brought to you in part by Ramontos in Claremont. Always fresh, always delicious. In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games are posted at ycnnow.com. In the shotgun, and the hard count maybe makes his own offensive lineman to jump. Looked like it might have been a couple of guys on the left side, and it's going to be a false start. Move them back 5 yards, brings up 3rd and 11.
4th penalty already of the game here.
So, 3rd and 11. Looks like Cole Jasmine, the junior, is in the shotgun man to his right. He's going to drop back and throw it. Keeps it himself. He is wrapped up by a couple defenders and tackled. That'll bring up 4th down. Maybe gets back, not really to the original line of scrimmage, gets back to the line of scrimmage on that play, and that'll bring up 4th down, 8 minutes to play. Another 3 and out for the Hurricanes.
Good push up the middle, kind of forced him out of the pocket there, and it looked like he pretty quickly made the decision to pull it down and scramble, but unfortunately Middlebury's defense was there.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all your printing needs. Our YCN game next week. Check our website, ycnnow.com. Here's the punt, and it's again fielded off the hop at the 41-yard line. This time, getting a little bit of room is Gabe Dunn. He gets it back to the 47-yard line, and that's where Tigers will start their second possession, leading 7-0 here, 7:19 to play.
He's got to be careful playing those on those big hops. I mean, those are not fast hops. Those are slow, high hops, and he could get absolutely clobbered if he's not careful.
Yeah, even if he's able to come up with the ball, it could be dangerous
Yeah,
on
there's
the
no
tackle.
fair catching at that point. I mean,
Right.
Once you make the decision to go for it, I mean, you're in there.
So we'll see what the Tigers do. High backfield. And the pitch to number 14, Buxton. He cuts to the outside. He is gone again. One man to beat Shambo, and he beats him. That's another. Oh, and he falls down at the 1 or maybe at the 4-yard line. Just trips up Shambo. And it looked like it was going to be a 53-yard touchdown run.
Fantastic job chasing him down and tripping him up. I didn't think we would see anybody catch Tyler Buxton all day. That's an easy one to give up on. Good hustle by the kid. Let's see if they can make it pay off here.
Alex Bushway, the injured Hurricane player, he came out of the game. And hopefully he's okay. He's going to be checked out, but we'll keep it on the field. First and goal, from the 4. And Gettleman under center. And the ball is on the ground. Nobody around it. The Hurricane defender jumps on it. And Hartford takes over. Big fumble, big turnover, Hurricane football.
You see that hustle pay off immediately. First play. I mean, that is huge. I mean, this thing could have been looking like it was getting away from the Hurricanes in a hurry. 2 plays for about 150 yards on the ground. Fortunately, though, Hurricanes defense comes up huge. And
that fumble, the exchange was just completely botched. The running back was away from the ball. The quarterback thought he gave it off, so he was running to the backfield. The ball was literally just laying there. Nobody around it for the Tigers.
Like panic kind of ensued, and the Tigers' offensive line didn't really
They
do
didn't
anything.
even know what was going on.
Ran right by.
So they'll start with it deep in their own end, but a handoff on the first play, and maybe a handful of yards there. Looks like they'll spot the ball. The ball was spotted at the 9, and a handful of yards there. Second down here for the Hurricanes. 2nd and 7, 6:30 to play in this one. This game is being brought to you by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more. Top Stitch works with businesses and schools marketing with custom t-shirts and embroidery for more than 20 years. So the Hurricanes trying to show some life here with a 3-yard pickup. We approach the halfway point of quarter number 1. Another handoff, off right tackle, and immediately swallowed up. Maybe a yard gain, but this defensive line of the Tigers really came to play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they're still trying to work the ball in the middle of the field, use that offensive line, which is one of their strengths. But so far, like you said, the Tigers' defensive line has stood its ground.
So 3rd and 5 now, inside 6 minutes here. Hurricanes 0 for 2 converting third downs. They've had to punt twice. Much different outcomes. One time, Middlebury started at their own 8 after some penalties, and last time started at their own 47. So, see if the Hurricanes can get the first down here. In the shotgun is Jasmine. He's going to throw for the first time tonight, just out of the reach of Darian Brown. And
their offense isn't necessarily doing themselves any favors. These have all been 3rd and longs, 3rd and 5 or more. If they want to be successful and convert some third downs here, they got to start getting some 3rd and shorts, get some bigger gains than 3 yards on first down.
My mistake on that last one was to Zachary Burek, number 25 for the Hurricanes, but you're right, incomplete 4th down. They'll have to punt it away. Punter standing on his goal line, and the return man at the Hurricane 45. High end-over-end punt. They'll let it go. Takes the bounce. He doesn't touch it, he claims, but we'll see what the refs say. And it'll be picked up by the Hurricanes and whistled dead, so he did not touch it. It'll be down by the Hurricanes at the Tiger 42-yard line, where Middlebury will take over, leading 7-0. 5:09 to play in the first quarter. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby.
Some adventures on these punt returns so far. He did avoid it, but that thing just missed his hand. If that got a piece of him, that was an easy walking touchdown for the Hurricanes.
But fortunately for the Tigers, he did not touch it. It was picked up, downed at the 43-yard line, 42 maybe. And then the penalty there, another false start penalty, dropping them back to the 37, where it will be 1st and 15. And haven't seen a lot of plays out of this Tigers team. They've had a number of penalties. Only 3 plays run from scrimmage, 2 big runs and a fumble. And we'll try it again. This time the keeper and the pitch to Buxton. He's out to the outside and getting back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. So another pitch to Buxton, another good gain. Gains about 6 yards.
Yeah, the false start obviously set him back a little bit, so we still got 2nd and 9. But similar play, the second one we saw of the game, little quarterback, running back pitch play, option play. The Hurricanes did a better job there guarding the sideline, which is exactly where Tyler Buxton's hit his first 2 home runs of the game so far.
And they'll go back to Buxton on the counter, and he goes all the way for the first down over the 47-yard line, maybe just at the 48, somewhere around 47-48 for the Tigers of the Hurricanes side of the field, and that'll be another first down. So changed it up a little bit there, but still gave it to Buxton. He continues to just be their workhorse.
I mean, both teams are run dependent, clearly, but very different styles. The Tigers are trying to move the ball and use Buxton's speed, get it to the outside, and here's another reverse sweep type play. Where the Hurricanes, on the other hand, are more probably a bigger, stronger team, and they want to pound it up the middle. So 2 run-dependent games, very different though.
Ian Plouffe on the carry there, the senior running back. And about a 5-yard gain, so 2nd and 5 inside 4 minutes to play here. Watch our Yankee Chronicle every week on this station at 8 p.m. on Saturdays. If you miss any of our local programs on our 3 YCN network stations, you can always watch the shows and games anytime on our website at ycnnow.com. And the handoff there, really not much of a gain, maybe half a yard, but it'll bring up 3rd down and 4 yards to go.
It's the first real good defensive play we've seen, other than the play where the Tigers shot themselves in the foot with a bad handoff.
Clock moving here inside 3:15. Quarterback under center. The pitch to the man, C.J. Bryant, in the backfield, and he is able to get to the corner and to the first down marker, bowling over a Hartford Hurricane defender and getting the first down.
Similar play to what we've been seeing to Buxton, and Bryant showed some speed there, getting to the edge as well.
So that'll be a first down, ball spotted squarely on the 35-yard line of the Hurricanes. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, inside 3 minutes to play here. White River Junction Division 1 game. Both these teams looking for a big win. Tigers trying to go to 4-0. Hurricanes defending their home turf, trying to go to 3-1. This time the handoff to Bryant. Oh, it's
another fumble?
The ball popped loose. They're saying he was down.
It was to the number 2, Bryant again.
And then the refs are going to have a word here first. With one ref is pointing to where I thought Bryant was down. Didn't look like it was a question.
It looked like it was down around the 3 yards into the run. And it looked like the ball kind of came out late, but it's tough to tell from here without a replay. It's probably tough for the refs to tell too, because they have to huddle up here and make a decision.
And they're going to say it's going to be down because they're going to spot the ball. Well, one of the refs is spotting the ball back at the 35-yard line.
My gut tells me that's the right call.
I believe it's the right call not to give the fumble. But I think they're going to replay the down. Unless it should be 2nd and 10. Or did they just call a replay of the play? And sacked here in the backfield. Big sack there, number 2, Cole Shambo coming up with a huge tackle. Still a little confusion up here in the booth. We haven't gotten any official word, but clearly there's a ref standing right next to the down and distance marker, and he's not changing it.
It was first down. Good play there by Hartford D, taking it into their own hands and getting a big sack. But I would have to assume you're right, and they couldn't make a unanimous decision as to what happened with the fumble. And they just said, all right, let's replay it. We don't have instant replay. Let's just replay the down. Make sure we don't screw it up. But,
so
I don't know.
An interesting call there. QB keeper. He looks for the option, but he keeps it himself, is Gettleman. And he will gain a couple yards. Nice 7 or 8 yard pickup, and it'll bring up third down. Now the refs are looking at the scoreboard, so maybe they are. But there's a penalty. Okay, there's a penalty flag. So that was 2nd and long after the sack. Illegal shift on the offense, so they're going to replay 2nd down, mark them back, so we'll wipe out that gain. And hopefully we'll get this all sorted out here before we get to the end of the first quarter.
Unlikely. So, I mean, I understand the spirit of doing a replay of the down, but if you do that, you're guaranteed to get the call wrong one way or the other way. Like, there's a 100% chance of getting it wrong. If you call it a fumble or you call it a down by contact, you at least get a 50-50 shot of getting it right. So I don't understand the logic behind it.
And the fact that it wasn't it wasn't like a touchdown run, it wasn't a big gain. You think he was just down there about the line of scrimmage. You would have thought, okay, we'll just keep it there. But either way, Gettleman dropping back to pass. He's trying to get to the rush, fumbles the ball, and he picks it up back at the 45-yard line. A flag on the play, though.
Yeah, Gettleman was kind of rolling to his offhand side there and looked like he kind of just stumbled on his own feet, and when he was pump faking, just dropped the football.
So we'll see what the call is here. Approaching 1 minute to play, and that was a long 2nd down play. Holding on the offense, it will be declined, so they'll take the result of the play, which is a wise choice. So it'll be at the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
This is the 7th play of the series, I think, and it's 3rd down.
And it's 30 yards to go from their own 45-yard line. So
I would think we're going to just see a draw here, something conservative.
I would imagine you wouldn't get too crazy here. Ian Plouffe, the back man, and it looks like he will take the carry up the middle, pulling forward for about 4 yards, bringing it up to the 49, and that's where the Tigers will punt it away on 4th down.
Yeah, 3rd and 30. I mean, the odds that you're going to get that distance is super unlikely. You're near midfield. Just take the few extra yards and try to get a punt down there near the goal line as close as you can. Hartford hasn't really shown the ability to move the ball yet, so play the field possession game here and pin them back.
Well, it looks like they don't have to run a play here. The play clock has more seconds on it than the game clock, and everyone's looking back at the game clock. And the Middlebury Tigers players are asking the sideline what to do. They will set it up, and they will get the punt away before the end of the quarter. Spiral punt. Nice kick. It's returnable. At the 10-yard line, it's returned by number 24, Barry. And that's where the Hurricanes will take over. End of the first quarter, an exciting first quarter, but only the one touchdown from the Tigers. Middlebury leads Hartford 7-0. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters' 2-time award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Today we are in White River Junction for a Division I gridiron clash between the Tigers of Middlebury and the Hurricanes of Hartford. YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, where Bubba wants you to know we're having a lot of fun. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. And Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, providing independence for patients and peace of mind for families. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. LaValley Building Supply, 10 retail lumber yards serving New England for over 55 years. Ramontos in Claremont, always fresh, always delicious. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in our community. Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby. Second quarter about to begin. Tigers leading the Hurricanes 7-0. Hartford taking over here after the punt. 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. under shotgun, dropping back to pass. He's going to throw it deep, has a man one-on-one, but he overthrows his receiver. And they were looking for Kobe Peach there, incomplete.
I can't see the number of who that was on the coverage, but he was all over him there.
Number 11 maybe on the coverage. Zach Bean, I believe. See if he lines up on that same side, but either way it was, you're right. Right on it, one-on-one, but good throw by the quarterback, only where his player could get it. He didn't throw it into trouble.
He had time, he had a pocket to actually step into that one and get it downfield. So
second down and 10. A lot of run plays here from both sides, but we have seen Hartford open it up. They've thrown a couple of passes, including right there. Again in the shotgun. This time it's handed off to the running back, kind of runs into the quarterback who was trying to block for him. And another flag on the field as the ball carrier is wrapped up before he gets to the 15.
There's actually 2 flags on the field.
Got to imagine it's right in the area of holding, so see what the official word is.
Yeah, one's right at the 10 on the line of scrimmage. The other one's a little further back in the secondary, just in front of the 20. Looks like Hartford is moving back here, though.
So we've got 11:48. Just started quarter number 2. An incompletion, and then the second play will run up the middle, a few yards on the rush, but it will be a penalty. Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local game, event, parade, or concert televised into YCN's over 300,000 households, contact us at info@ycnnow.com.
Looks like they'll move it half the distance to the goal, back to the 5.
All right, so they're putting the ball at the 5 and replay the down, second down. They need to get just over the 21-yard line for a first down. Second down about 15. A couple of subs coming in here. Number 12, Kyle Hamilton, looks like he came in. He is listed on the roster as a quarterback, but is that who's going to line up under center? Or is it still 13? So Cole Jasmine's still in there. Handing it off, big hole for the running back. And all the way up to the 15-yard line. Gets a good chunk of yardage back.
That's their biggest offensive play of the game so far, and it's going to at least give them a shot here at third down.
So third down and 6 from the 15. They need to get to the 21-yard line. Clock moving. A minute gone by here in quarter number 2. Tigers open up the scoring, if you're just joining us, with a 92-yard touchdown run. That was number 14, Tyler Buxton, their first offensive play from scrimmage. And then their second one, they went almost 53 yards for a touchdown, but tackled at the 5-yard line. And then this third play was a fumble. Hartford recovered, and no scoring since that first drive. Quarterback keeps it, he rolls out, throws it, a nice throw to a wide open receiver. The defender looked like he dove for it or tripped, but the receiver was wide open.
I believe he slipped, it looked like. He lost his footing, and as a receiver, you turn around, you almost get scared to catch it. Like, where is he? I don't know where he is. He's going to come out of nowhere, but he's uncovered wide open.
So maybe Jacob Dwinnell on the catch there.
When you're getting stuffed at the line like that, sometimes it's good to take some shots downfield. Maybe you hit one. Either way, it might open things up in the middle of the field for your run game.
And at least gives them some breathing room, not in the shadow of their own goal line. So at the 37-yard line. And now Hartford maybe finding a rhythm, setting up in the shotgun. Remember those first couple drives, Jasmine was in under center. Now he's under the in the shotgun. This handoff to Shambo kind of gets swallowed up. Maybe a 3-yard gain, maybe 2 yards, see where they spot the ball, but maybe they're trying to find something here under the shotgun. Second down and 8 on a 2-yard gain.
A lot of running for 2 yards there. The blocking just wasn't there for him to find any hole or seam there. He tried to give his line as much time as he could, but nothing really formed, nothing got set up, and short gain on first down again. I don't think they've had a play on first down more than 3 yards. So
second down and 8. This time again under center. Jasmine rolling out. He's going to keep it himself. Up the middle. Takes a shot at the 41, maybe the 40-yard line.
Glad to see him bounce right back up after that hit.
Ball spotted at the 41-yard line. I don't know if that was a designed run because he really had no pressure on him. The pocket wasn't even collapsing.
No, it looked like a quarterback draw. I didn't really see the receivers doing anything looking like they were going to run a route or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure that was a design run, but it did not work out.
So again, Jasmine in the shotgun, 3rd and 6. He's going to go down the field, and he completes the pass to number 12, Kyle Hamilton, senior tight end.
That's going to be close, just at the sticks. We might get a measurement on this one. Looks like the spot's a little short.
Yeah, that spot is a full, maybe not a full yard, but you're right, it looked like a lot closer when he caught the ball and kind of went backwards, so it's 4th down, but if you're the Hurricanes, you go for it here, close to midfield, and a yard to go.
Their best offensive drive so far. Their defense has been playing well other than the first 2 plays of the game, so I wouldn't be afraid of rolling the dice.
Looks like they will be going for it, and once again, Jasmine under center. He's going to keep it himself. He gets through the line all the way across the 50-yard line to about the 46, and a big gain. What was that, 8 yards, something like that?
You don't see a lot of QB sneaks go for 8 yards. It's a huge push by their center.
Nicely done there, just a wide open lane. And everyone had to know Jasmine was going to sneak it. Tigers defensive line couldn't stop him. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 47.
I mean, you're absolutely right. With the yardage that short, especially in high school football, it's probably QB sneak 90% of the time. You think you'd put 2 nose tackles right on the center and make sure you can't do that. At least make the quarterback go left to right a little bit.
Right, not right. And we saw that in a game a couple weeks ago where all it was QB sneak up the middle, until they put that nose tackle, over the center. And the penalty here on the Hurricanes, a little false start, moving back 5 yards, bring up 1st and 15 from their own 48-yard line.
More 1st down troubles here.
Once again, still.
They're not getting a lot of yards per play on 1st down, and we've seen several penalties here on 1st down.
Putting themselves in tough positions on 2nd and long, 3rd and long. Luckily, they have converted some on this drive.
Luckily for Hartford, Middlebury's not been much cleaner today.
Handoff this time up the middle to Burrick, and he's able to get 4 of the 5 yards back, bring up 2nd down and 11. Second down and 11.
That's a good strong run there. I think they probably would have rather had 2nd and 6. That would have been their best 2nd down starting position of the game so far. But you take what you can get there, and now they just got to get another decent chunk play here to give them a shot at 3rd down.
And the fake handoff throws it to a wide open receiver, number 81, Dylan Morse on the catch. Scampers forward for a few more yards, and he's going to come up short of the 1st down, but a nice little gain there on 2nd down. It'll at least bring up 3rd and manageable. I mean, it's nothing special. 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, the defenders are kind of playing a little behind him there. He made the cut inside and found himself the middle kind of wide open. But because they were playing behind him, they didn't really give him anywhere to run after the ball was caught, and it's still 3rd and fairly long here.
It's a 4-down territory. You got to imagine. Oh, the high snap over the head of the quarterback. Picks it up on one hop. Flag comes in as Jasmine slides down.
Good job to get to the ball and play it cleanly. He was rolling out to the sideline there. I think he should have probably thrown that one away. It looked like he had time. Instead, he decided to slide.
Yeah, that ball bounced right back to him. Talk about a lucky bounce there, right to him.
I mean, he didn't have a chance on the snap. It was way over his head.
And a holding call against the Hurricanes. That penalty, once again, will be declined. We saw the...
Yeah, they almost lost 10 yards anyway, so...
Right, we saw the Hurricanes do that last time when Middlebury was called for a holding on the fumble. And so we see it here, 4th and long, 4th and 17, inside 7 minutes. This drive started at, I think it was about their own 5-yard line at the start of the 1st quarter. So it's a 5+ minute drive. Timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. Middlebury Tigers 7, Hartford Hurricanes nothing. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby. After the change of possession, a timeout on the field. So out of the timeout, Middlebury takes over. Hartford didn't like the look, so they took a timeout, and the handoff around the corner, and he has one man to beat, but he's pushed out of bounds. Tim Gettleman, yes. A nice gain at the 30-yard line. He's pushed out, so a big gain and another huge one for the Tigers.
He was able to tiptoe down the sideline for a good 25, 30 yards, just barely staying in bounds. Huge gain there. I mean, if you're Hartford here with 3:17 left, all you were trying to do is hope you can go into the half 7-0 here.
Now that task becomes a little tougher. And Gettleman will keep it again. He gets around the corner, gets 5 yards to about the 25, and a nice first down play there on the keeper as we approach 3 minutes to play.
Second and 5 for the Tigers on the Hurricanes, 25-yard line.
The YCN scoreboard sponsor is LaValle Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Our next YCN game pits the Bob Whites of Bellows Free Academy, hosted by the Cosmos of Springfield, Vermont. Second down and 5. Under center, clock moving, taking his time. And the keeper, the pitch to Buxton, he's wrapped up by 3 defenders after he was tripped by the first one.
Another dangerous pitch there. I mean, Buxton had defenders all over him while he was trying to make the catch on the pitch. So not only is he not going to gain any yards, all he's trying to do there is just hang on to the football. So they have to clean that up a little bit.
For over 11 years, Bubba's Bar and Grill has been providing hungry patrons with high-quality food and friendly service, with a mission of delivering a remarkable experience to every visitor. Bubba reminds you we're having a lot of fun. Third down here. A little miscommunication, maybe. Gettleman, he is trapped in the backfield. He's got to get rid of it. Just throw the ball, but he's not going to. He's going to be dragged down at the 50-yard line. A big tackle, number 34 for the Hurricanes.
Heck of a pursuit there by Hartford. They didn't give up on him, but Gettleman, I mean, just take your losses just like the pitches. He's trying to make too much happen here, and it's costing him. He almost ran into the ref there. He kept running further and further back. The ref looked like he kind of spooked Gettleman there, and he kind of turned thinking it was a defender.
Dwinno on the tackle, and now they're moving the ball 5 yards up. I'm not sure if he was down, if he had been just kind of lost momentum, but I didn't.
Yeah, it would have. I mean,
progress.
The forward progress would stop the second Hartford makes contact with the quarterback, and he was kind of thrown and spun around and thrown backwards a few more yards. So I think that would be why the ball moved up another 5 yards or so.
So fourth down and the big punt here coming from his own 48-yard line. The angled punt, it goes out of bounds, and the Hurricanes will take over inside a minute to play. We'll take a timeout. Tigers lead the Hurricanes 7-0 on the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby. Hurricanes taking over after the punt. They're going to go long on the first play, and that's going to fall incomplete as Jasmine looking to get the first down to Shambo. Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Club Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We will choose the team member that had the greatest impact on today's game. And with 52 seconds to go, the only impact play so far has really been the 92-yard touchdown run from Tyler Buxton.
Yeah, he's actually had a couple nice impact plays. I mean, his first 2 carries, he had about 150 yards rushing.
Going to go deep here, has a man, but it's tipped and trying to kind of box out the defender, but that one's incomplete.
Yeah, talking about the impact plays so far, a lot of them are mistakes, bad snaps, fumbles, stuff like that's really changed the complexion of this ball game. I mean, a fumble for Middlebury easily could have cost them a touchdown after that second big run by Tyler Buxton.
Dylan Morse not able to get to that one, and that'll bring up third down and 10. And now if you're the Hurricanes, all of a sudden you thought maybe we'll have a chance to score and tie this up. Now it's like we might go 3 and out and give Middlebury a chance.
Who has
one
timeouts?
More time.
Yeah, timeouts and a bad punt or something to get the ball around midfield.
It's almost like you got to run the ball here at least to make them use their timeouts, but they're going to pass and dropped by the receiver, Bushway, out of the backfield.
Yeah, Bushway knew he had that one and couldn't reel it in. He's upset with himself.
And that gets past the first down marker. That moves the chains. That does it all. But instead, it's an incompletion. Stops the clock. 4th down now, and they'll have to punt it away.
So that saves Middlebury a timeout, too, by stopping the clock, as you mentioned. So,
yeah, that's why. I mean, at that point, I think if you're the Hurricanes, you just have to make Middlebury use a timeout, and they didn't do that. So now they're punting away, giving some extra time to the Tigers. A low-lining punt takes one hop and return at the 42-yard line. Buxton has some room along the right side. He breaks one tackle, breaks a second tackle for a half a second, and a flag comes in on the play. We'll see what the call is, but probably a face mask by the looks of that tackle.
Which could move it further up, but I understand what Hartford's trying to do there. They were trying to get the punt to bounce and maybe sneak past the defender. But the danger is if it does go straight at somebody, they're getting it with nobody near them, and they can run up the field untouched for 15, 20 yards, and that's exactly what happened. By the time that Hartford got to him, he was already in great field possession here to start this drive. And then you add the penalty on top of it. It looks like Middlebury is going to have a few shots here toward the end zone before the half to extend this lead.
Yeah, ball's in the red zone, inside the red zone. 1st down and 10 from the 18-yard line. Inside 30 seconds to play. Quarterback under center. They've got some timeouts, as you mentioned. They're going to drop back and pass, and that one is well short of anybody. The defender, the intended receiver, and the goal line, so that'll be incomplete. 2nd down.
I think it was close enough to Bean, so it wasn't an intentional grounding, but that was clearly just thrown away. Good pressure there by Hartford's defensive line.
2nd and 10. After that first play from scrimmage for the Tigers, there has been no scoring so far. Keeper again. This handoff or pitch to Buxton is clean, but he's not going to get much after it. Maybe a handful of yards. Timeout on the field.
A little bit cleaner pitch there. At least he had room to catch it and look upfield. But still, they were a little close together. And you got to get more separation. If you don't have that separation, first of all, the defenders are going to be right there whether you pitch it or not. Obviously, the more separation, the more danger.
So this looks like a play where it's 3rd and 6. You can still get a 1st down, but I don't really know if a 1st down's... I mean, it's worth something, but you only have 15 seconds. You go for the end zone maybe. If you don't get it, you kick a field goal. Right now with the ball in the 15, about a 32-yard field goal.
Well, ideally in college or pro football, I would say absolutely, but being high school football, we have no idea how Middlebury's kicker can perform. I mean, he was good on his extra point. He kicked it right down the middle. But as far as his range goes, this is pretty iffy for high school range right here. So this could be 2-down territory, 2 shots to the end zone, I think.
2 shots to the end zone maybe, and then if you don't get them, you're at least going in up 7-0, and you get the ball to start the second half.
Well, if they want to call this 2-down territory too, they could throw it short and just try to make it a 4th and short, and then try to run another play, as they do have timeouts at their disposal.
So the quarterback under center, man in motion, and it's going to be a reverse, but the Hurricanes are all over that play, easily stopping the ball carrier, number 11, Bean, in the backfield, and a timeout on the field with 8.4 to go, and that's 4th down now, and now it's decision time.
Yeah, fantastic job by Hartford there. There was 2 defenders that didn't bite at all, and they got outside of all the Middlebury Tigers. So when the sweep tried to run around there, it was 2-on-1 for Bean, and he had nowhere to go and easily went down. Very nice play.
So the ball on the 17-yard line. Coach Dennis Smith of the Tigers needs to make a decision here on the road on a Friday night. Do you go for the big score and try and go up 7-0, because you got to imagine maybe the last play depends how long it takes to develop, or do you try and kick the field goal?
I mean, it's a 30-plus yard field goal. I don't know.
Not a gimme,
like
you're right.
It's not a gimme, but it looks like that's what they're going to attempt here. And
so it'll be about a 34-yard field goal attempt. Snap, and the ball, it is tipped, and it's short thanks to the tip. Not sure who got a hand on it. Was
the
number
1?
1, I believe.
of Kobe Peach?
I think so. I think that his teammates are, getting after him on the sidelines as a congratulatory handshakes. But yeah, it was probably Peach.
Even with the ball tipped, it was still on line, and it wasn't that short.
It wasn't, you're right.
He looked like he got a pretty solid hand on it too. So Nikolai Lush, it looks like he might have an impressive leg. So we'll have to remember that for later in the game.
Now you're the Hurricanes. Kneel it down. Don't get into anything crazy here. And that is what they will do. So the clock will expire in the first half. Tigers scored on their opening possession. And that's all the scoring from White River Junction. The Tigers of Middlebury lead the Hurricanes of Hartford 7-0. We will take a break and come back with some first half analysis and highlights. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. Halftime here in White River Junction, Vermont, where the Hartford Hurricanes trail the Middlebury Tigers 7-0 at the half. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby. And Scott, an interesting first half. We thought it was going to be all Middlebury after they run a 92-yard touchdown run on their first play. Their second play from scrimmage is about, maybe 48-yard run to the 5-yard line. Then they fumble it, and then there's been nothing else since then for either team.
The funny thing is, it has been all Middlebury. There was even some big runs on their last drive there. They got a big one down the sideline by Gettleman. They're moving the football. They're getting the yards. They have the time. I shouldn't say they have the time of possession, because Hartford did have that 40-yard drive that somehow went for 7 minutes. But honestly, Hartford's lucky to be in this game. They should be thrilled that they played the way they have, and they're only down 7-0. A lot of penalties, some bad snaps, a few fortunate bounces too, like mistakes on Middlebury's end with fumbles and snaps. So.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, that time of possession in the second quarter where it was, they started at their own 5-yard line at the 12-minute mark, obviously. Started the second quarter. They got it to about the 47-yard line, their own 47. It took 5.5 minutes, and then they punted.
Every first down play on that drive, I think half of them were probably 1st and 15s from false starts, and the other ones that weren't 1st and 15, they went 3 yards. So they were second and long every single time on that drive, and that helped you eat up a lot of clock without gaining a lot of yards.
And they were lucky to convert some of those third downs, so they didn't have to punt. It wasn't like it was 3 and out. So it was kind of an interesting first half. What are we looking for in the second half with Hartford? They're kicking off. Middlebury, do they have some momentum out here to start the second half?
So Hartford started to do some things in the second quarter that they weren't in the first. They started off pretty much just pounding the ball right up the middle. We saw them take some shots downfield, and they had open receivers on a few occasions. They couldn't make plays, but they were showing the ability to create a pocket, give the quarterback time, get the ball downfield. I think they're going to have to take some more of those chances because, Middlebury's doing too good of a job stopping this run.
Yeah, they had some openings. They had some receivers who were open that were overthrown. They had the good pocket. So Middlebury, obviously a strong first half, but the Hartford Hurricanes, even though only down 7, they're right in this game. So we'll see what happens in the second half. We'll take a break and come back with some first half highlights after this on the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back, and let's take a look at some halftime highlights on the YCN Game of the Week. And those are the halftime highlights here from White River Junction, Vermont, where the Tigers lead the Hurricanes 7-0. We'll take a break and come back with second half kickoff after this. You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters two-time award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Today we are in White River Junction for a Division I gridiron clash between the Tigers of Middlebury and the Hurricanes of Hartford. YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, where Bubba wants you to know we're having a lot of fun. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. And Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, providing independence for patients and peace of mind for families. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. La Valley Building Supply, 10 retail lumber yards serving New England for over 55 years. Ramontos in Claremont, always fresh, always delicious. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in our community. Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby here. Second half, Hurricanes will be kicking off at the 40-yard line, and as we talked about during the halftime break, it's really been a lot of... Oh, and he got a onside kick.
Oh, he's got it.
Wide open chance, and a couple guys jump over it. Penalty flag on the field. Looked like Hurricanes got it back, but then a penalty flag.
Clearly
right
traveled 10 yards.
Really wasn't a question of the 10 yards.
No.
He picked it up at the 45-yard line. So
there's no way he went out of bounds either, and the ball didn't go out of bounds. And once the receiving team jumps on an onside kick, it's a dead ball, so I don't see where there's even potential for a penalty unless somebody jumped.
Well, the ref was just counting the players on the field, and I believe he counted 12 for the Hurricanes.
Generally, you count before the kick, though. Not after the play's over.
Especially near the sidelines.
Yeah, right.
Really
you don't know if
hard
people
to
came
tell.
on. Like if I'm the Hurricanes, I'm sneaking off the field onto the sideline here.
And if the way the play was, it was right in front of the referee. He was standing there. Two players jumped on it, and then he threw the penalty flag. And so we'll see what happens. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. They're going to call picking up. I believe they're picking up the penalty flag, and they are going to say Hartford
first down Hurricanes.
So
yeah, I'm not sure what the penalty was even for. Like you said, it might have been too many men, but you can't.
But it wasn't
that after
thrown.
the play.
Right, it wasn't thrown while at the beginning of the play.
Correct.
It was thrown while the ref was staring at the two guys jumping on the pile. Maybe somebody jumped on the field out of the sideline.
It could have in excitement because, like I said, once the ball is recovered, it's a dead ball at that point, and the play is over. So you could have players running out onto the field. Maybe I don't know. It was so a little bit of a strange start, but a very aggressive play call.
And that's what you got to do, basically, like we talked about when it's been all Middlebury in the first half. Come out and jump on them early here. And see what they do here on the first down. A nice handoff and a big 8-yard run up the middle for the Hurricanes on first down. Their largest gain of first down so far tonight.
Yeah, one of their best runs all night, straight up the middle like they had been doing. And this time they just got a good push, good blocking, and took the most of it. But back to the onside kick. Middlebury was just completely fooled.
Yeah,
Nobody even went for the ball. There was two Hartford players right there. Either one of them could have easily recovered it. That really caught him by surprise, and it's the best way to do an onside kick. Very low percentage play.
So second down and about 2. Handoff there to the first running back, and he breaks through for a big gain. Tackled in the secondary, number 25, Burek, and he's all the way up past the 20, about at the 26-yard line, and that'll bring up first down. A nice 2 gains there for the Hurricanes.
So another thing that onside kick does, Middlebury's probably got an offensive drive planned out here to start. that quick switch, a lot of the players on offense are thinking offense. Now they're going to run back out on the field and play defense. I mean, they're kind of like shell-shocked a little bit here, and you see the 2 biggest runs of the game for Hartford immediately after.
No question about it. And this one again goes to Burek. He gets hit, but then he is tackled. Actually, that might have been number 26, Shea Bean, on the carry, and it was. So another decent gain. I mean, we've had 3 plays, and it looks like that's about a 4-yard gain there. So
they
now
gave
we've
him
had
4.
Yeah, so we've had 3 plays, and they've been 3 of the longer plays so far tonight for the Hurricanes on the 2 first downs, especially.
This is exactly what they needed to come out and do. After, I mean, being fortunate, quite frankly, it was 7-0 at halftime, based on the yardage, the way the game flow went. Very fortunate. And it didn't come out, and look, another good run here.
But fumble, was he down? No whistle yet. Middlebury takes it, easily recovers it, but there was no real signal by the ref on whether he was down, and there's been no signal on who has possession. The refs have kind of struggled tonight in some of the calls.
They have. We might even get a replay. Who knows? But it looked to me, that one did look like a fumble. It looked like the Middlebury safety came up and put the helmet right on the football in his midsection. Based on the way the Hartford player fell, it looked like it probably did come out.
So after the refs are discussing it, they are going to say Hartford football. Are they replaying it again? I believe they are. They're not moving the sticks. It's second down. This is the second replay of the game. So I have not seen this before, and I've now seen it twice in one game.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Jeremy. Like I said earlier, it's when you make that call, you're definitely getting the play wrong, no matter what. So,
and this time they give it to Burek. He goes up the middle behind the lead blocker, gains 4 yards over inside the 20-yard line. I'll bring up third down, and so I've seen that twice.
Well, unlike the previous one that they did that screwed Hartford either way, whether it was a fumble or not, because it was an unsuccessful play on offense, this one, Hartford did have a positive play. If he did fumble and they weren't sure, it's going to hurt Middlebury.
Right.
If he didn't fumble and they're not sure, it's going to hurt Hartford. So, I mean,
that one was a little bit
this
more.
This one at least is a little more even, but it's still boggles my mind, you know.
And we see the keeper on that play gains enough for the first down. He's across the 15-yard line, and it'll bring up first and 10. And the Hurricanes with a nice drive. I mean, they did start at the 45, but a nice drive of 30 yards going here. And one thing I will say about this Hurricanes team, they drive, they take their time. I mean, they've already been 3 minutes for 30 yards. You usually don't see that. You either are you're either 3 and out, or you get a score.
Well, that's not difficult to do when you have their game plan, which is keep the ball on the ground up the middle. You're not getting huge chunk plays. I mean, your big plays are 8 yards.
And that one's not a big play. Hit in the backfield is Burek, and he is tackled immediately. You're right, they're all 3, 4, 7, maybe 8 plays. 8 yards, I mean.
So when you string a whole bunch of those together, it is going to chew up a lot of clock because they're running a lot of plays.
So we'll bring up second down and long. Today's game is being brought to you in part by Ramontos in Claremont. Always fresh, always delicious. In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games are posted at ycnnow.com. So second down and a long 11, maybe 12. Quarterback hands it off, and it looks like that's Burek maybe on the run. It is, and he gains the lost yardage back, plus plenty more. He'll bring up third down and short, and that's how you get out of a big second and long hole.
It seems like in this drive, that little bit of motion that they're sending across behind the line of scrimmage, sending a receiver across, kind of faking a reverse almost, is sort of keeping the linebackers and the defensive backs on their heels, and it's creating some big holes.
So we'll see what they do here on third down and short, and that handoff to the running back, falling forward. Ball is loose, but there was a whistle, so this time he's going to be down. That's, I believe that's Shea Bean, and he has now left it on the ground, but it's going to be still Hartford football. And a first down.
unfortunate break there, but it did look like his knee was down before the ball came out, and the drive keeps alive. I think that's the third first down here on this drive.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all your printing needs. Our next YCN game features the Bob Whites of Bellows Free Academy, hosted by the Cosmos of Springfield, Vermont. Hand off this time up the middle, and nowhere to go is Bean again. Bring up second down, and if you're the Hurricanes, it's 4 downs. You go for it on all 4 downs. At this point, this defensive game, a field goal might not even matter, even if it's a short one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have no scores so far, so that shows you how hard it is to score in this game. I would certainly think it's 4 down territory as well.
And we have seen some sloppy play on the Middlebury side, so you put them back in their own end and maybe force something. You never know what can happen. So second down and goal. And the handoff to the running back. He falls on top of the pile. He's not going to get much.
Again, we saw a receiver coming around to sort of fake a reverse, at least get some movement, but it didn't look like Middlebury even looked at him that time.
Now third and goal from the 5. Here's a play where you might try and pass the ball, Get Jasmine out in the shotgun. He has had some success. Maybe get somebody out in the flat and take a chance.
A little play action, roll out a guy, like a fullback even maybe, out in the flat.
Let's see what happens. He does have a receiver out wide right, Jacob Dwinnell. We've seen him with a nice couple. And the ball is fumbled. Falling on it is the running back. It will be Hurricane football, but that's a wasted play right there.
Yeah, it didn't look like anybody was in motion. It looked like they kind of went not quite a wishbone, but yeah, bad handoff. It didn't look like the QB ever got the ball cleanly to begin with, and like you said, wasted play. 4th and 6 now. And
in comes the kicking unit. It'll be about a 25-yard field goal.
I think if they had any sort of positive yardage there, they definitely would have been going for it here, but unfortunately with a fumble and losing some yards.
And the kick is up. It's off to the right, and it just stays in the upright. So the Hurricanes are on the board. 5:05 to play in the third quarter. But the Tigers still lead the Hurricanes 7-3. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby. This game is being brought to you by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more. Top Stitch works with businesses and schools, marketing with custom t-shirts and embroidery for more than 20 years. So here we go. Hartford on the board with the field goal. Taking advantage of the onside kick, they started at the 45, got to about the 5-yard line before they were fumbled and lost some yardage. But they did convert the field goal, and they're on the board. Another onside kick, bobbled at the 50-yard line, but it is picked up by the Tigers.
Yeah, Middlebury was kind of ready for that when they had a guy. He was clearly paying attention, fortunately. He didn't play it cleanly. His teammate jumped on it, though. I believe I heard it was Matt Kiernan.
So that'll be where the Tigers take over at the 50-yard line. 5:05 to play. Watch our Yankee Chronicle every week on this station at 8 p.m. on Saturdays. If you miss any of our local programs on our 3 YCN networks, you can always watch the shows and games anytime on our website, ycnnow.com. Quarterback under center, and the offensive lineman jumps. He knew it right when he did it. That was going to be on number 68. Defense kind of moved. It didn't cause him to jump, but because the defensive line was just shifting, and he jumped, and that's a penalty 5 yards back, 1st and 15.
So back to the back-to-back onside kicks. Very aggressive special teams calling. I don't know if that shows a lack of confidence in your offense or a lot of confidence in your defense, but it's definitely interesting. You don't see that too often.
No, you don't, and Buxton gets those penalty yards back, and actually it's funny because that guy who fielded it, he didn't really field it cleanly. It hit him and he dropped it, so you kind of got, if you're Coach Matt Trombley, you might say, I'm not afraid to try that again, because even though they did recover it, it wasn't clean. Now, I don't know if we'll get another chance. They've got to score again.
On the other side, if you're Dennis Smith, you're saying, you guys need to stay at home until the ball's going over your head. You can't turn around ahead of time, period.
Penalty flag on the play. It looked like they didn't really even have the hands team out there. It looked like it was number 50, who's listed as a running back. But
yeah, I think it went off him, right? And then Kinnon's the one that actually recovered it.
Yeah, it hit the number 50. But either way, they got their recovery, then they got the yardage back, and now they've got another false start penalty, so that'll knock them back from the 49 where they currently sit at about the 44-yard line. And meanwhile, we played almost 8 minutes of this first quarter, and we've had a field goal and a few penalties.
I mean, we talked at halftime how we thought, I personally thought Middlebury was kind of dominating the game, at least the game flow. They had big chunk plays. They seemed to move the ball up and down the field. They were just shooting themselves in the foot with mistakes. And then 2 out of your first 3 snaps here to start your first drive in the second half, you have false starts. It's not a good omen.
This time will be a throw. Quarterback rolled out. He has a man and a nicely placed football and brought out of bounds, but not before the big game from Bodie Rubright.
Alex Bushway was there on the coverage. He just seemed a little bit too small. He kind of got boxed out there by the much bigger receiver.
6'4", 205, listed as a tight end, and he really had some nice moves there. And the first down for the Tigers after a couple of penalties. They're across midfield. They're at the 35 of the Hurricanes inside 4 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Nice job by Gettleman recognizing the mismatch there and finding his big tight end.
And the handoff to Buxton. He is swallowed up by a couple defenders behind the line of scrimmage. So right now, this Middlebury Tigers team not having a good start to this half with the missed out on the onside kick. Had multiple penalties, so that one big play previous kind of saved them because the rest of their plays this half haven't been that special.
We're fairly fortunate on the second onside kick, too, that another bounced right to a teammate.
Yep.
So, yeah, Hartford's coming out playing strong.
And there inside, he's going to be met at the corner and pulled down, and the ball carrier, number 5, Ian Plouffe. And if you watch on the line of scrimmage, what Hartford's doing is they're having defenders on the line shift. They're not jumping like trying to get the guys off sides, or a false start, excuse me. They're shifting, and that has drawn the Middlebury team. It's legal because they're not trying to get them to shift, but it's clearly designed to make them move.
So that works in two ways. Obviously, you get the false starts, but obviously the offensive line play calling, the center or whoever's up there calling the plays for the offensive line, it's tough to call the defensive plays. It's tough to say, plug this gap because you don't know where a guy's going to line up by the time the ball's snapped. And another good run stuff by Hartford.
Few yards there, but not enough, as that'll bring up fourth down. And a long 3.5 yards, almost 4 yards. They've got to get to the 25. Ball's on about the 33.5-yard line, and they'll go for it here on fourth down. Under center is the QB. Defensive line shifting. Hand off to Buxton, and he falls forward, but he's not going to get it, so it'll be a turnover on downs. Hartford Hurricane football. 2:02 to play here in the third quarter. We'll take a break with the Tigers leading the Hurricanes 7-3. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby. 2:02 to play here. Turnover on downs. The Hurricanes will get the ball back, and they will have a little bit of a longer field than they did last time, starting with it at their own 25-yard line, 26 maybe, and a 2-yard gain on first down.
It's not, your ideal starting field possession, but this is the ideal start for Hartford for this half. The onside kick, they were down going into halftime. Looked like they were going to give the ball to Middlebury to start, and they kind of flipped the scripts here, and they got 3, and now they got the ball back, looking to go down, score, and maybe take the lead.
And you got to imagine they'll use the last minute and 20 seconds of this quarter, as they've taken a lot of drives, taken a lot of time, and that ball carrier is pulled down. He knew he was going to get hit. He kind of just went down. Smart play. Doesn't try and fight for extra yardage.
Well, we talked about this Middlebury team's speed, so it's tough to get to the outside edge when you're presumably the slower Hartford. And you saw right there, everybody there. Like, there's 4 guys on defense that could have made that play. No shot for the back to get any positive yardage.
So inside a minute here, Hartford looking to get something going. 3rd down and 10 for the Hurricanes. We approach 40 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. Hurricanes opening up this half with the onside kick. They get the field goal, then turning it over on downs where the Tigers. And now on a big 3rd and long completion. Did he stay in bounds? It's going to be a close one, but I think he's going to be a yard short. It looks like the sticks are on the far side. It looks like he will be marked down, Kobe Peach.
It'd be a risky call here to go for a 4th and 1 from the 36, but after 2 onside kicks, they're clearly showing that they're not scared to be aggressive.
Yeah, because if you turn this one over, it's going to be at the 36-yard line or worse if it's a sack or a loss of yardage. So they're bringing in some players, and they're lining up as if they're going to go for it. Clock stops, so unless they try and dry them off sides, this will be a play. They're going to keep it, and Jasmine up the middle. He might have gotten it.
Depends on the spot.
Right, that's the big thing. It looked pretty good, but depends where they spot it. And they do say 1st down, so it will be 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes.
So Matt Buckley and his coaching staff remaining aggressive here.
Yeah, and I guess just saying, hey, our offense hasn't really done much. And I think it's actually more confidence in the defense because they know they can stop them. And you're right, not much confidence in the offense. And I don't want to say not much confidence, but just enough to say, hey, we can get the yard and maybe we'll break something here. But I think they're going to run this one out. So that's going to do it for 3 quarters here in White River Junction, Vermont. The Middlebury Tigers lead the Hartford Hurricanes 7-3. We'll take a break. You're watching the award-winning YCN Game of the Week. You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters 2-time award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Today we are in White River Junction for a Division I gridiron clash between the Tigers of Middlebury and the Hurricanes of Hartford. YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Newberry Harbor, where Bubba wants you to know we're having a lot of fun. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team, and so much more. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. And Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, providing independence for patients and peace of mind for families. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. La Valley Building Supply, 10 retail lumber yards serving New England for over 55 years. Ramontos in Claremont, always fresh, always delicious. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in our community. Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week, Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby. And on 1st down, the QB sneak here to start the 4th quarter for the Hurricanes. Nice 4th down conversion before that, and then the quarter ran out. 1st down there, they'll keep it on the ground, gaining another couple yards, and this drive is big.
Interesting call on 1st down to go to the QB sneak, but we did see it go for 8 earlier.
Right.
So.
And now you got to wonder, if you're the Hurricanes, how many more drives are you going to get? Even if you continue to stop the Tigers, because they keep the ball for so long, and that one's wrapped up in the backfield. Trio of defenders and possible injury, but it looks like Burek might be getting up. He'll be okay, and that'll bring up 3rd down and another 3rd and long, and this, you're back now.
Yeah,
I don't think this is 4-down territory.
I mean, if they don't gain positive yardage here, no, it's not.
I think you could get almost up to the 45-yard line and make it, 4th and short.
And we saw him take some shots there toward the end of the first half, and got some yards.
At halftime.
So
I don't understand. They've regressed their offense back to what it was in the 1st quarter, when they had success in the 2nd quarter.
And you're showing aggression on the onside kicks going forward on 4th down. Why not take some shots on 1st down, 2nd down, get the defense a little bit off balance?
So Jasmine in the shotgun. He's going to go on the double move. He's got a man, but he overthrows Kobe Peach. and finally getting aggressive, but a little long, and a nice little move here right in front of us, and he was open.
Yeah, he had his man. He just overthrew him just a bit there. Which is too bad. I think we got to see a punt here now.
Yeah, now you got to punt it, but we have talked about their defense. I know if it's bend but don't break, sooner or later that's going to catch up to you. So I understand where we're all coming from. Middlebury really outplayed them, but the scoreboard is the scoreboard, and Hartford has shown they can make some stops.
Do you think Dennis Smith's coaching staff's preaching fake punt here?
And he might be, and here it comes. He's not going to get it, but a good effort, and called it out. Didn't quite get it. We'll take a break. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. You're watching the award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, and quickly before we get to play, Scott, you called it fake punt. Didn't quite get it, but a good thought.
Yeah, and I had mentioned Dennis Smith. I mean, based on what we've seen so far in this quarter, he's telling that special teams, the special teams coaching's telling that special teams, do not fall for anything. And we got to just look at this run here.
And that's Buxton. He breaks free, bowls over one man, and the 40-yard touchdown run by the Tigers.
He's running over defenders. That's his third huge run of the game. He's probably over 200 now in the day.
So number 14, Buxton, we talked about him on the pregame, and he is the man for the Tigers. A 40-yard touchdown run, making it 13-3.
So he had a little over 160 in the first half. He's definitely over 200 now. Impressive running, impressive strength, speed. One of the better backs we've seen so far during our YCN Game of the Week.
Yeah, we see a lot of running, obviously, and this is one of the guys. He runs over a defender, and he gets the touchdown. The extra point is tacked on. So the lead now 14-3. Tigers take a 2-score lead. Hurricanes need some offense with 10:09 to play. You're watching the award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, the touchdown from the Tigers as they go up 14-3 with 10:09 to play in the fourth quarter. And if you're the Hurricanes, got to get the ball here and move it, move the chains, get at least score of some sort. Hits the receiver, the return man, and then it's fumbled around by two other Hurricane players.
It looked like Hartford did jump on the ball there, though.
A lot of Middlebury players saying it's their ball. Not a lot of confidence coming from the Hurricane side, but you're right, it looked like there was two guys under there. Unless it was
somebody could have stolen it away from them on the bottom of that pile.
That can happen. And it is going to be Middlebury football. They run away, and it will be Tiger football. First down at the 40-yard line of the Hurricanes.
Heartbreaker there for the Hurricanes.
Just hit the foot of one of the upmen on the special teams unit, and a special teams unit that we thought looked good at the start of the second half with the onside kick. They've now struggled here.
That didn't look like an onside kick. It looked more like a squib kick. I mean, he hit it hard. Just a tough break for Hartford. It's a tough play for the defender, 10 yards away from the kicker with it smashed at him like that. I mean,
right.
It's tough to get out of the way of that one.
So we'll bring up first down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Hand off to the running back, number 5, gets the carry, and he'll be tackled after Plouffe gains a few yards. 4 yards, they'll give him on that one. Second down and 6. Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local game, event, parade, or concert televised into YCN's over 300,000 households, contact us at info@ycnnow.com. Well, Scott, looks like they're taking their time here. 9:30 to play. Middlebury, no rush to get this play call.
No incentive to leave a second even on the play clock here for them. Hartford's not an explosive offense. If they were to even get a big drive, it would take a ton of time off the clock themselves. So.
And Plouffe breaks free, and he is going to run. He have a defender who can stop him. No, he doesn't. And another touchdown there, a 36-yard touchdown from Ian Plouffe.
So the Tigers have sort of opened it up here, early fourth quarter. Just big runs. It's like Hartford can stop the run, but then all of a sudden, here come the Middlebury Tigers with these big home run plays.
And they go for the extra point here. Will they? Up 17. No sense in really going for 2. Kicker's been really good, as we've seen a couple extra points, plus the blocked field goal, tipped field goal almost got home. 20-3, 9:12 to play, and ball down, kick up, and it is good with no doubt. So 21-3, the Hurricanes trail the Tigers. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Here we go, 9:12 to play. Hurricanes trying to get something going after a tough couple of drives. Tigers get the touchdown. Now the Hurricanes trying to return it there. 21-3 our score, 9:05. And Scott, as we mentioned, if the Hurricanes want to come back, they got to hurry it up because they have moved the ball tonight. It's just taking a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you have to have a quick strike touchdown, there's no doubts about it. 9 minutes left in this game, and clearly Middlebury's running game's starting to heat up here. We mentioned, they can get stopped at the line, but then they suddenly have these big runs where they break out, and it's just, again, we mentioned their speed. When you have speed like that, if you don't get to them right off, these guys can break down field and be unstoppable. Get a flag on the play.
That's got to be against the offense. It is against the Hurricanes. Another penalty, really, that's hurt them. Obviously, the non-successful plays on first down, you mentioned a number of times, and it's correct. A lot of their plays on first down have gotten fewer than 5 yards. Some of them fewer than 3 yards.
Well, most of their false starts, too, have been on first down, so that sets them back even further on top of that. So when you're starting behind every single series, it's tough to sustain a long drive down the field, and if you do, it's going to take a lot of time off the clock.
So we'll see the pass there, and just overthrown, and just, we said this during the break last time. We said, why aren't they throwing it more? And I think we know why. This quarterback, he has shown, and he is young, so he'll get there, but he has overthrown and missed some of the throws.
Yeah, a very strong arm. He can certainly get the ball downfield. He just doesn't quite have the touch yet to set it in there and give his receivers a chance. You don't always have to throw it as hard as you can. That's something that you learn over time.
And it's only the 4th game of the season, so he will learn that over this season, and he's got a senior season next year. So, but you're right, a very strong arm, which is one thing we don't see a lot, as he throws it up again, and once again, he's overthrowing his receivers, but it was almost right on the money, just a little long.
I mean, that one actually didn't come out clean. It was wobbling, which takes distance off, too. So if that comes out clean, it's probably way more overthrown, but he's just doesn't quite have the touch quite yet to be an elite quarterback in Division I.
So 8:56 to play, inside 9 minutes. 3rd down and 15. Hurricanes looking to get a first down here, and you got to imagine they got to pick it up here. Not going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, no, I mean,
even I know you're down 3 scores, but
keep
you just
throwing.
But you can't just keep giving up more touchdowns. You got to punt it away, and hopefully you get a stop.
Yeah, if it's 4th down, you don't go for it. But as far as this is a tough. He didn't have a pocket that time. But back to what I was going to say, you don't run the ball in this situation. You keep throwing and trying to get the first downs. Now it's 4th down, you punt.
Right. You don't completely give in. You just don't try and go too crazy.
Back to Jasmine, their quarterback. I mean, like we said, he's shown a lot of potential. So the more throws you give him, the more time in game. The more learning experience, and it could even be by the end of this season he could be hitting receivers in stride down the field. So
they will punt it away, 4th and long. Scoreboard says 4th and 27. We'll trust their math. Long punt. Here we go, and that one's going to be up in the air and out of bounds. Not much to it.
Did he kick that one off the turf?
Rugby style. I didn't see it, but it wasn't much on it, and that'll be at the 38-yard line. We'll keep it right here on the change of possession. The YCN scoreboard sponsor is LaValley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Our next YCN game pits the Bob Whites of Bellows Free Academy, hosted by the Cosmos of Springfield, Vermont, and we've seen some football in the early season. Last week we were a great game down in Claremont, Stevens, Newport with a big upset win, but the other 3 games, I mean, this game was close for 3 quarters, and now Springfield, Middlebury just pulled away here late in the game, in the 4th quarter. As we see another run, another 5 yards, and you're right, this offense has just worn down the defense of the Hurricanes.
I think that's a big part of it. I mean, it was only 7-0 at halftime, but they gained a lot of yards. There was a lot of chasing by the Hartford defense, and that looks like it probably kind of added up here. And, you know, Middlebury already probably the faster team to begin with, and now you're wearing down the offense. I mean, their Hartford defense, and they're doing it with multiple people. Obviously, Buxton's been the star of the game, but they've had other running backs, moving the ball. Their quarterback, obviously. Who got the last touchdown there?
Ian Plouffe.
Ian Plouffe,
senior.
He's had a few good runs here in the second half, and he was just carrying the ball there. So they're keeping their legs fresh, mixing it up.
And that's what you got to do as Gettleman drops back to pass. He has the man, and that's the tight end, number 81, Rod Rubright. And a big first down inside the 10-yard line for the Tigers.
The big fella at 6'4", he made the catch earlier in the game. Just a tough matchup. I don't think anybody on Hartford's that big.
Yeah, there's no defending him, and a nice throw there, perfectly placed. And once again, the entire Tiger squad looking back at the sideline, looking at the play. Clock not moving. He did go out of bounds, so they're not going to need to waste too much time here on this one. 7:06 to play. First down, and I guess he can get 10. Ball's on the 11 and get a first down. And the handoff to the 3rd running back. It was kind of a triple fake. Gabe Dunn, and he'll be swallowed up in the backfield.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it looks like it's pretty well in hand for Middlebury. 3-score football game, not enough time, I don't think, for Hartford to come back. You're going to start seeing some Tigers players who you don't normally see touch the ball. Just get those young kids some experience, building some depth in case of injuries. Who knows? Next year, of course, some of these players might be starting. It's nice to get their feet wet whenever you get a shot.
So bring up 2nd down and 14. Ball at the 15-yard line. Clock moving here, 6:20 to play in the game. Under center. And the handoff. Another guy, we don't call his name too often.
Yeah, fullback.
Patrick Trudeau, the senior fullback, 5'10", 185, and he's able to get inside the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down from the maybe 8-yard line from the 3rd and 7 from about the 8.
So this is no surprise to me. I mean, I've seen Buxton out there on this drive, but he's more of just a decoy. There's no need to get him the ball at this stage of the game.
So 3rd
looks like
down.
Buxton is out there again, split wide.
Quarterback under center.
And they do go to him.
Wow, they go to Buxton. He makes one guy miss, and then he's wrapped up by 2 defenders. So surprisingly, they keep feeding Buxton, but he doesn't get the first down. That'll bring up 4th down, and got to imagine a field goal attempt coming up.
4th down for the Tigers.
So 4th down, field goal unit coming in, but the clock will continue to move. It'll be well inside 5 minutes. Just started the play clock before they snap this ball. No sense in doing it too early.
One of the faster moving games I've seen in recent memory. Some long drives.
Yeah. And a penalty flag. The kick is good by plenty, but a flag before the play. Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Club. Kearsarge Heating turning up the Heat player of the game. We will choose the team member that had the greatest impact on today's game.
Tell you, this Nikolai Lush has one of the better legs I've seen in high school football. He is pounding it. That one was right down the center. And he's basically clearing that fence out there behind the goalposts at times.
And move that one back 5 yards. Start the clock, and I mean, if you're the...
Move it back to the 25. I want to see him boot a long one here.
You're the Tigers, you can take some time off, but they don't. Just a little chip shot, gets his leg under it, and he
right down the middle again.
It. And it is 24-3. The Tigers with the lead. 4:30 to play. We'll take a break. You're watching the award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. Middlebury Tigers with the field goal to go up 24-3. The kickoff is going to roll out of bounds. And
just out of bounds.
Just barely goes
Fortunately
out.
For Hartford, because if that stays in bounds, he's going to field it, and he's not going to get any return on that. If he doesn't field it and Middlebury picks it up, they get the ball right there. So that was a close one.
We've seen it all tonight.
It was the right call.
Right, you let it go and you stay close to it, and hopefully you just dive on it if it doesn't go out of bounds. Or, even at that point, you just kick it out of bounds. You're not going to...
That's a penalty, though, I think.
Well, but it's better than
losing the football.
Right, not getting it. If you for some reason aren't able to get it, just kick it.
Make sure it's out of bounds, one way or the other.
So they'll get it at the 35-yard line. That's where the Hurricanes will start at 4:32. See if they can get a touchdown drive here and get in the end zone. They had their chance, but they came up short when it was about the 5-yard line, and then got the field goal early in the third quarter when it was then only 7-3. Looked like they might be in it, but now throw down the middle, and that is easily picked off. Buxton at the 47-yard line. He's got some daylight, and he is going to get into the end zone for the touchdown. Tyler Buxton, the 47-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Jasmine just trying to make something happen there. He had no time. He got hit right when he was throwing. I think he was just kind of hoping there that his receiver would make a play. There was a lot of coverage down there. He did have 2 receivers, but I think there was 4 defensive backs over there. So
an interception return for the touchdown. 47 yards. Buxton adds to his total. He's got 3 of the 4 touchdowns tonight. And the extra point pending here. Another one would make it 31-3, and the Hurricanes will get the ball right back. And that one is good as we expected it. So 31-3, Hurricanes kind of giving it up here in the fourth quarter. They entered the fourth quarter only down 7-3, and now 31-3. So tough fourth quarter, just got worn down.
The score doesn't reflect how Hartford played. They're going to probably look at the scoreboard and head to the locker room with their heads down. But this was a pretty good game for 3 quarters, and just kind of fell apart for them here in the fourth. Like you said, they got worn down, and that speed of Middlebury, particularly Buxton, just caught up to him.
So in that fourth quarter, at the 10:09 mark, Buxton with a 40-yard touchdown run to go up 14-3, and then just less than a minute later, at the 9:12 mark, they get the 36-yard touchdown run off. It was off the muffed kickoff. If you remember, it hit the kickoff return man, so they get the ball back. Then they break a 36-yard touchdown run to make it 21-3. The field goal makes it 24-3, and then right there, another long game. They've had 3. That one was a 47-yard interception return. 4 touchdowns, all over 35 yards.
I don't think it's any secret who we're going to probably pick for the player of the game tonight. So many explosive plays. That one, another squib kick.
And that's the same one. Almost goes out of bounds. This time it doesn't, so the returner has to pick it up.
And he had nowhere to go because it's rolling nice and slow toward the sideline like that. You're allowing the kicking team to get down the field, and by the time you pick it up, they're already pouncing on you. So, it's a strong kicking game for him so far.
Yeah, some good extra points if you are the Hurricanes here, though. Maybe you keep the ball for the last 4:16 and at least move the ball, kind of end this game on a high note, and know that going to next week, you have some momentum, maybe get into the end zone. So see if they can do that here. First down with the ball at the 25-yard line. And we've got a timeout on the field. The Hurricanes want to talk something over. We'll take one as well. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. 4:16 to play. Fourth quarter. See if the Hurricanes get something going here. They have yet to find the end zone tonight. And the handoff there. Nice little handoff. And the run up the middle. Alex Bushway with a big first down run.
Nice to see nice positive play here to start. just for morale's sake, it would be nice to see him get a nice drive down the field and maybe put some points on the board, at least get some big positive plays, something to, feel good about.
So we'll see what they can do here. A big first down gain, one of the biggest of the night. If they can replicate that. Taking their time, though. They're really not running the hurry-up offense at all. But
no, there's no sense, I don't think. I mean, there's no way they're going to win regardless. So just run your normal offense here, get some practice in, and try to get some confidence back in what you're capable of doing.
And the run there for a couple yards, Bean on the carry. Inside 3.5 minutes after this game, Hartford will travel to, let's see, I'm trying to get their schedule here. They will host Bellows Free Academy on Friday night. In Middlebury, they will go to 4-0, and they will host Essex also on Friday night, as we see another big gain for a first down. For over 11 years, Bubba's Bar and Grill has been providing hungry patrons with high-quality food and friendly service with a mission of delivering a remarkable experience to every visitor. Bubba's reminds you, we're having a lot of fun.
Another good first down run there by Hartford. Sorry, it was a second down run, I believe. But moving the ball here a little bit. I mean, I don't think Middlebury has their starters in on defense at this stage of the game, but that's fine. That's okay. Just like I said earlier, Hartford just needs to get confident and hit some positive plays, and that's what they're doing right now. We got another good run.
And taking their time. Approaching 2:15 to play here in the fourth quarter. 31-3 our score. And assuming this one holds, it's Middlebury 4-0, Hartford 2-2. 2 minutes to play here, and maybe put something in the end zone, maybe catch a break here, catch something. And the handoff, nice little run, a little shifty run there, and that's going to be all the way inside the 5, touchdown run, nicely done, Alex Bushway.
Alex Bushway has shown some elusiveness tonight and some burst. He hasn't really had any opportunities to break the big one yet, and he took advantage there.
I believe that was about a 44-yard touchdown run by Bushway with 1:44 to play here.
Bushway
gives him some momentum.
Bushway had a couple nice runs on that drive. I think it was it Brandon Potter, maybe, or Zachary Burek had one earlier in the drive. Positives for Hartford, something to build on, something to be happy about.
Right, exactly.
I mean, obviously the score still is more lopsided than it should be, but at least for them it makes it look a little bit better. You put at least 9 on the board. They kick the extra point here, and
well, they don't get it, and it's going to be 30. They do get it, 31-10. So they get the extra point, and they'll kick off here, at least finding the end zone once tonight.
Mr. Russell Barrett and Mr. David Byrd. Thank you guys. You always do a great job.
And a good crowd here, though. Hartford does have a lot of fan support and a good home crowd, and that's one thing you can always count on here. And they're going to rebound this game. They'll put it behind them. Coach Trombley will talk to his players. He'll work hard during the week. The players get the game plan, and they'll be ready next week. They're always going to give max effort, so we know, no doubt about that coming up next week.
They've been a competitive school for many years.
Right.
They're one of the top teams here in Division I. We said they were 5th ranked in the state coming into the game. This isn't what they wanted to. Again, I want to keep bringing it up. 7-3 going into the fourth quarter. Now it's 31-10. It just kind of blew all up at once. Sometimes when the momentum gets rolling like that, it just gets out of control. So they're more competitive than this score shows, and I agree with you. I think they will bounce back.
Yeah, and especially with that long touchdown run. They got the quick kick here, onside kick. It takes a bounce,
and the
Hurricanes take it back, as it popped directly over the top of the return man sitting there. Thatcher Trudeau, literally, it popped over his head.
No shot there. I mean, that's like playing shortstop and you just get one of those hops in baseball that there's nothing you can do about. You're defenseless, and unfortunately, there wasn't another player around there to protect him. You know, they've gone for 2 onside kicks here in the second half. I know the score is what it is, but they're down. They want to keep running offensive plays. You think Middlebury would have played that one a little safer than they did.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, and like you said, I mean, he had that lined up perfectly, and he gets down in front of it, gets his body square, and it popped over his head. He couldn't do anything, so the Hurricanes will take over. 1:43 to play, and they're still down 3 scores, so it's probably out of reach, but like I said, giving them some momentum, and a nice little run here, and this one is number 26, Shea Bean, and he gets popped at the end for a first down run.
They're 2 for 3 on onside kicks. Who knows? Maybe we'll get one of the greatest comebacks in sports history here tonight if they keep breaking these big runs. You don't see 2 for 3 in onside kicks a lot in any game at any level.
And the one that they didn't get was not fielded cleanly. They had a chance at it.
They had a chance at it. So.
But this is what you give credit to the players here. They're fighting hard at the end, not giving up.
Yep, no quit.
Coach Trombley's got them going hard, and see what they can do here as the pitch goes to the outside. Breaking free is the ball carrier, Shambo, dragging a couple tacklers and then a penalty flag.
Looks like a unnecessary roughness, maybe a late hit.
Yeah, that's going to be on Middlebury, as we saw Jackson Balch, who was on the ground, fell on the ground late, and clearly the flag came in from that side, and the ref even went over to Balch to make sure he was okay. So that's going to be another 15 yards, or half the distance to the goal line, but minute 3 to play.
I'm obviously kidding. I mean, they don't have any shot of coming back. There's just simply not enough time, but I mean, they could score here and maybe get another onside kick and run a few more offensive plays and just keep building that confidence up, and you know, they're not playing the starters on defense, and is this moving the other way?
Well, there was a block in the back on the Hurricanes, but then there was a dead ball foul against Middlebury.
So they replaying the down?
So they go back for 1 and then forward 15 yards with personal foul.
So because they weren't in the both during the play, they can't be offsetting, so they got to mark one back, the 10 yards for the block in the back, and then they add the 15 yards. So basically going to replay the down, first down.
Well, they'll still get positive yardage out of it and a first down, but
right. I mean, yeah.
It cost him about only 5 yards, I think, from the end of the run. He ran it to about the 20. So.
Right, and it'll be 1st and 10 now. So wind the clock. Be at 1 minute to play when they snap it. And Bean gets the handoff. Nice little shifty run there. He gets into the secondary, and then he's tackled, but he's inside the 10-yard line. Another nice run there.
Yeah, it's Shea Bean, little guy, bouncing off tackles.
Yeah, he's had some nice runs, especially on the inside.
He seems to get a low center of gravity, and he's tough to bring down.
So 1st down and 10 from the 11. Again, the handoff goes to Bean. He's up the middle. He's fighting, pushing the pile.
Just shy.
Getting not enough yardage for the 1st down. 30 seconds to play, trying to run their offense now and at least get into the end zone one more time. Jasmine goes under center, Bean behind him. Also have Bushway. And that ball is run into the end zone. Touchdown, Hurricanes. I believe that was Bean again.
Very impressive drive there for Bean.
So 17 seconds to play. Hurricanes score again.
I tell you, I mean, it might be garbage time, but when you see Bean running like that, I mean, he wasn't getting a lot of the carries earlier in the game. Gurk was getting a lot of them, but Bean might work his way into the rotation here a little more running like that. I mean, he's running hard here right till the very end of this game, taking advantage of his opportunity, and, you know, he might be rewarded for it.
So 17 seconds to go here, and 31-17 the score, and I can't imagine you have enough time to get an onside kick, a touchdown, another onside kick, and then another touchdown.
It seemed far-fetched. They only need 2 touchdowns to tie, though, so
But at this point, if you're at 14 and you get a touchdown, you might as well go for 2 and make it at least a 6-point game.
Yeah, might as well.
Putting it up on the scoreboard, so every time somebody looks at the score, they say, "Yeah, what a good game." Unfortunately, it wasn't quite that way, but like I said, good fight here from the Hurricanes. They are most likely going to fall short, but we'll probably get to see at least another onside kick here.
I've never seen a 3 for 4.
Can we go 3 for 4? And if you're the Tigers, don't you have all,
you put everybody?
There's got to be a max, right, of how many guys you can have on the up? Is there or no?
I honestly don't know, but
they're gonna get as
you
many.
don't need to have a guy back.
They do have
Even
5 guys right here on the 50, and they're all set. And then they have 5 more behind them at the 45. You do have 1 guy deep. Because what if you do just kind of pooch it right over into that middle spot? So you kind of have to have 1 guy back. But I get your point.
Yeah, I mean, this one, it's one of those ones you want to try to get to bounce up high rather than keep low.
Right. And that's what I was talking about. He gets it on the little pooch, but it's caught. I think he would have caught the fair catch there.
You want to call it fair catch on that play,
But either way, they recover it cleanly. The Tigers do. Number 48, Nicholas Herrera, the senior. He knows what he's doing. He just catches it and kneels down. And 12 seconds to go. That should do it for this one.
Yeah, one more knee, and the game will be over.
So,
but credit to the Hurricanes for fighting until the very end. Make no mistake about it, though, it was all Tigers here for that 4th quarter.
Yes, it was.
They went on a very impressive run.
Yeah, they get hot. They were only down leading 7-3 going into the 4th quarter.
Middlebury Tigers 31, your Hartford Hurricanes 17.
So the clock will wind down and hit zeros, and that is going to do it. The Hartford Hurricanes fall to the Middlebury Tigers 31-17. We will take a break and come back with the wrap-up and the player of the game on the YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back. Final score here from White River Junction, 31-17. The Hurricanes fall to the Tigers. Jeremy Stout, Scott Quimby, and let's wrap it up. Let's first start off with the HR Club. Kearsarge Heating turning up the heat. Player of the game. Who you got, Scott?
It wasn't a tough decision for me. It was Tyler Buxton all the way. 3 touchdowns, 2 huge long runs. He had a 3rd long run that was 53 yards. He was tackled, tripped up just short of the goal line. The next play was the fumble, not by him, which prevented a 4th touchdown. He had the interception return. He was everywhere on defense. He had a lot of tackles today. Easy pick for me today. Tyler Buxton was the man.
All right, so Tyler Buxton, the HR Club. Kearsarge Heating turning up the heat, player of the game. And as for the game, it was all Middlebury in the first half, but it was a close score. Only 7-0 at the half. Hartford comes out, scores a field goal at 7-3. It's really close, and then it kind of all falls apart in the 4th quarter for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, it was interesting the way Hartford came out in the second half. I mean, we knew that obviously Middlebury was moving the ball a lot more in the first half than Hartford. Hartford came out aggressive, coming out with an onside kick, recovering it. They marched downfield, kicked a field goal. You got a 7-3 game. They tried another onside kick, nearly recovered that one. And then kind of after that, things just kind of fell apart for them. There was a stretch where I think 17 points were scored in like 4 minutes for Middlebury, and things were all of a sudden looking pretty grim at that point. But credit to them, they fought back at the end as best they could. They didn't quit. But still, based on that huge boost that Middlebury had, it was an easy win for them.
All right, so the Tigers go to 4-0. The Hurricanes fall to 2-2. The final score here for the final time, 31-17, Middlebury over Hartford. For Scott Quimby, I'm Jeremy Stout. Thanks for watching the YCN Game of the Week.